Hey guys, how's it going? So, I've done a video on this already, but I took that down because the quality was just straight up garbage. So with this video, I actually want to get into, like, I don't know if you want to call it Tibetan throat singing, if you want to call it undertone singing, or something of the like. Yeah, it's a little rough. There's actually a Mongolian metal band called The Who that has been using this vocal technique in all their music. There's an experimental pagan band called Heilung, and one of their singers, actually multiple of their singers, use this chanting technique as well. And so I want to use this video to kind of go into the specifics of it. Now, I've seen it done multiple different ways. There's just one that I just don't personally like. You know, he makes it work. Or the people that use it, you know, if it works for you, then that's fantastic. You know, keep doing it because, you know, maybe your voice is different than mine. Maybe you're better at it than I am. But me personally, I don't like it. Now, the way I approach my vocal chanting is I'm going to start off. I'm gonna back off the mic for a little bit, but I'm gonna start off with it's sort of like a fry scream, but where you're singing a note along with it. And the best way I can describe it is, you know, you're trying to imitate James Hetfield when he does his yeah. So when you're imitating James Hetfield, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get that rasp down, right? So if you've already got an understanding of any type of metal screaming, you're already halfway there. You understand how to use your diaphragm and how to focus in on a noise in your throat. If you don't, then what we're going to do, I'm going to show you a couple exercises that'll maybe help. So we're going to imitate James Hetfield going, yeah, yeah. And what we're looking for is a steady vibration underneath your natural voice. So you don't want it to be like, yeah. You want it to be like, yeah. A little bit more gruff. Like, just try to add some gruffness to it. And once you get there, it's either going to be sounding like the way I'm doing it, or it's going to be a little bit more like, yeah, yeah. So what you want to do is, if it sounds real gravelly like that, real airy and gravelly, you're going to, yeah. You're going to try to focus it, like, you're going to try to focus the sound. When it's gravelly, it feels like for me that the sound is coming from the sides of my throat. You're going to try to focus it more towards the center. You're going to try to make the sound actually resonate more towards your front teeth. Yeah. And you can also use that to kind of experiment with the pressure in your diaphragm and the pressures in your throat. And until you get to the point where you're confident that that's pretty much where your sound is going to come from. It's going to sound steady, consistent, and it's going to actually be an undertone to your natural voice. So after we hone in on that sound, yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to start just slowly moving the pitch down. And you can kind of hear me like, hey, because I'm trying to give you a technique to kind of help experiment with the pressures and whatnot in your diaphragm, see how much pressure you need, and see how much pressure you need to put on the muscles in your throat. It's not going to be a whole lot of pressure on the muscles in your throat, but you're going to use some. So what we're going to do is we're going to just keep doing that. Because what we're trying to do is, as the tone goes down, we're trying to maintain that vibration. Now, if you have the vibration and you just want to move straight down with it, then go for it. You know, whatever works for you. All we're focusing on is trying to drop the pitch in that vibration. You know, for some people, it helps them gain confidence if they just do it with their mouth closed. You know, trying to sound like a chainsaw, essentially. If you're like me, you're not gonna be able to hit a very low pitch starting off. You know, my lowest pitch was a C, I believe it was a C sharp, but I was able to gradually move it down to a B and then to an A, and then now I'm at sort of like an A flat. I guess you'd call that a G sharp. But it just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of conditioning. You know, it actually, for me, it actually took a couple weeks to be able to condition my throat to be able to sing. So sing like that for long periods of time without like, without coughing. So it will be mildly irritating. If it mildly irritates your throat, don't fret it. You know, sometimes it will be a little painful. It shouldn't be excessively painful though. If it is, you might need to reapproach your fundamentals, reapproach the technique, see if you're doing something wrong. And I will actually discuss one of the wrong ways that I've heard just a little bit later in the video. But from there, once you have the vocal technique down, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start experimenting with the lips and with the tongue. Now, you know, wide noises, basically whatever shape your lips are in, it's gonna be accentuated a lot more than with your natural voice. E-o, e-o. We actually can use this to our advantage. Now, there's another style of singing called overtone singing, and it's basically, you know, you can use it with your natural voice. Start off making like an R, and then like just kind of with that the end of the R, the R, like move your tongue around just a little bit. You'll start hearing some resonance. It's almost like a whistle. And we can actually use this with our undertone singing, the chanting at the same time. Now, I don't know how well it's coming out in the microphone, but you should be able to hear it. As well as that, you know, we can get everything from like a high, like a high pitched, almost like a Popeye or an Immortal, like Abbath from Immortal type, that kind of grit. And if we close up our lips and we close up our mouth a little bit, it becomes much more billowy, much more hollow, like sort of like God voice. So it's extremely malleable. Before I end the video off completely, there's a couple of wrong ways to do it. Or there's one wrong way, and then there's another way, there's another method that somebody else approached that I just don't really like personally. The reasoning behind that is because the Tibetans or the Buddhists, I don't know which one, but one of them, somebody described the throat chanting as a way of channeling the voice of the gods. It is supposed to literally fill the room. So just imagine yourself in a monastery. This voice is supposed to fill the room. Now, granted, it's not very loud. I'm gonna back off the mic a little bit. This voice is not very loud, but it does fill the room up. The way that I've heard it approached that I just personally don't like is actually using the fry vocals. If you've seen the movie The Grudge, you know what I'm talking about. That's your vocal fry. I don't like this because it sounds weak, and you really have to be right up on the microphone to get any sort of like bass resonance out of it. But if you can do it better than I can, if it actually does, if it makes you happy, then you know, roll with it. If it sounds good on record, sounds good on microphone, then roll with it. Absolutely do, because my voice is my voice. It's not your voice. I'm just stating what I don't like from my personal perspective. Is the I personally don't really like that. The other technique, I was actually on a vocal coach's channel called Voice Hacks, I don't remember her name, but she's got some extremely incredible tips for people who are just starting out with metal vocals. And so I'm not going to knock the channel. It's a great resource for people starting off with metal vocals. Except when it comes to Tibetan throat singing. Now, she approached this technique as more of a throaty, raspy, or and that is incredibly destructive to your voice, because when your vocal cords work, they kind of all, what is this? They kind of roll over each other like this. They don't stack together like this, they roll. But when you're doing that, when you're doing that sort of croakiness thing with your throat, your vocal cords are smacking each other just straight chords. Your vocal cords need to be able to roll. So that's the goal with my technique. Is it's supposed to fill the room, but also let your vocal cords and your false vocal cords roll across each other. That's all I got for this video, guys. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for some more vocal tips. Stay tuned also for some more music. I'm going to be putting out a little bit of music here and there. I've got another channel where I kind of like talk about weapons and stuff. A lot of swords, lots of gun stuff. A little political. But but for this channel, we're just going to keep it straight up music and nothing else. So you guys take it easy. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one.